Good morning, dear children. We can move to the next lesson, work, energy and power. Work, energy and power. Actually, this is the last lesson in physics for you. Okay, work, energy and power. In everyday life, we consider some useful physical and mental labor as work. Isn't it? In everyday life, we consider some useful physical and mental labor as work. We can consider the activities like a man moving a staircase, then a student studying, a coolie carrying weight on his head, a boy pushes a wall. Isn't it? In all these activities, we see that a person involved in doing lots of mental or physical labor. Okay, actually, in all these activities, in all the above activities, a person involved. Okay, the person involved in doing a lots of mental or physical labor. We see that all are doing work. Okay, we can say all are doing work. But interestingly, in terms of science, we can say they are not doing any work. Okay, actually in everyday life we can say they are doing a lot of work. Okay, suppose a boy pushes a ball. After some time he gets tired. Okay, in that case he is doing a lot of work to push a ball. Okay, but in terms of science we can say that boy is not doing any work. Okay, is not doing any work at all. Okay, that is the meaning of work in science is different from the meaning of work that we used in our everyday life. Is it clear for you? The meaning of work in science is actually different from the meaning that we used in our day-to-day life. Okay, in this chapter we will discuss work scientifically. Here actually in this chapter, work, energy and power, we will discuss work scientifically. While doing all the activities in our day-to-day life, human beings and animals need energy. Okay, which they human beings doing all the activities, human beings need energy. Isn't it? Then how do they obtain energy actually? They obtain energy from the food they eat. Okay, and the requirement of energy actually depends on the type of work performed by living things. Okay, the requirement of energy actually depends on the type of work performed by living beings. Okay, that is, if they are doing hard work, they require more energy. If they are doing less work, they need less energy. So the requirement of energy depends upon the type of work performed by living things. Okay, they use energy in walking, then jumping, then writing, then thinking, etc. In doing all these things, they need energy. Okay, and we will see the relation between work and energy. In this chapter, actually, we will see the relation between work and energy. Also, machines like fan, TV, refrigerator, then washing machine, car, bus, etc. also need energy for doing work for their working. All these devices need energy. Isn't it? And one more physical quantity that is actually power is also to be we will discuss in this chapter. Okay, and we will see how these three terms, that is work, energy and power are related to each other. Okay, in this chapter we can see how work, energy and power are related to each other. First we can see about work. Okay, let's see about work. Activities like we above said activity, that is when a boy pushes a ball, then typing the typist on the computer, then writing book by the author, etc. We cannot consider as a work in science. Isn't it? We will see why we cannot the above said activities as work. Why we cannot consider that activities as work in science? Let's see. Okay. Now we can consider the situations like a boy going to the market from his home on bicycle, then pulling a table from one corner of the room to the another corner, then lifting a heavy load. Okay, then a horse pulls a cart. Okay, once again I'll tell. Then a horse pulls a cart. A boy going to market from his home on a bicycle. Then we can say we can pulling a table from one corner of the room to the another corner, then lifting a heavy load. Okay, actually in all these activities, according to science, work is said to be done. Okay, all these activities actually according to science, work is said to be done. Work is said to be done. That is a horse pulls a cart, then pulling a table from one corner to the another corner of the room, then lifting a heavy load. In all these cases, according to science, work is said to be done. Listen it. And in all the above examples, actually two things are common. Can you say which are the things that is common in the above examples? One is the force applied. Okay, one is the force applied. Then what is the next? One is the force applied, and another is the body having some displacement. The body is having a displacement. That is, in order to move a table from one corner of the room to the another corner, we have to apply force, and the table undergoes a displacement. Listen it. Okay. Also, when a horse pulls a cart, where actually the horse apply a force on the cart, and the cart moves. Listen it. So the common things actually here are force applied and the displacement. Force applied and the displacement. Actually, it means that when a force is applied and the body moves, we say that work is done. It means that when a force is applied and the body moves, when a force is applied and the body moves, we may say work is done. Listen it. When a force is applied and the body moves, we may say a work is done. Okay. So we can say work is said to be done when a force is applied on a body and the body moves in the direction of force. Listen it. Work is said to be done when we apply a force on a body and the body moves in the direction of force. So suppose I am applying a force on this pen. Okay, and this pen moves in the direction of the application of force. Okay, I am towards right, I am applying a force, and this pen moves towards right. So work is said to be done when we apply force on a body and the body moves in the direction of force. Okay, how we can say work is said to be done by a force? Work is said to be done when a force is applied on a body and the body moves in the direction of force. Okay, or we can say work is said to be done when a force on a body produces displacement. Okay, work is said to be done when a force on a body produces displacement. Listen it. Work is said to be done when a force on a body produces what? Displacement. Okay, so we can say the two important conditions for the work to be done. Okay, what are the two important conditions for the work to be done? One is the force and another is the displacement. We already told. Okay, the two important conditions for the work to be done. What are the two important conditions for the work to be done? One is the force and another is the displacement. Okay, suppose if any one or both are absent, then we can say no work is said to be done. Okay, suppose if the force is absent or the displacement is absent or both the force and displacement are absent, then no work is said to be done. Isn't it? For example, an author writing a book while sitting, he is doing actually a lot of mental labor. But in science actually he is not moving. So he is not doing any work according to physics. Listen it. An author writing a book while sitting is doing a lot of mental labor. But in terms of science, we can say he is not moving. Okay. Actually he is not moving. So he is not doing any work according to physics. Listen it. An author writing a book while sitting, actually he is doing a lot of mental labor. But since he is not moving, we can say he is not doing any work according to physics. Listen it. So we can say work is said to be done when a force is applied on a body and the body moves in the direction of force. Listen it. Then you can say the situations where work is done or examples for work done. Listen it. We already said actually that is when a horse pulls a cart. Actually, what will happen actually here when a horse pulls a cart, the horse is applying force on the cart. So, in the direction of force, the cart is moving. Okay, then another example, see when we lift a book upwards, what will happen? The book is moving in the direction of the application of force. Listen it, when we lift a book upwards, the book moves in the direction of the force. Also, when we pull a table from one end of the room to the another end, actually what happens? The book moves in the direction of the application of force. Listen to it. These are the examples for work done. So, what are the factors on which the work done by a force depends? The work done actually mainly depends on the force applied, the magnitude of force applied, and the magnitude of displacement. Listen, the work done mainly depends upon the magnitude of applied force and also the magnitude of displacement. See, when we apply larger force to a body, the more work is done. We can say more work is done because it is proportional to the work done, proportional toward force. Okay, and also the magnitude of displacement. If the magnitude of displacement is larger by the application of force, so we can say more work is done. In that case, more work is done. Listen to it. When we apply large force to a body, the more work is done on the body. And also the displacement of the body is very large. In that time, by the application of force, that time we can say what the work is more. So we can say the work done mainly depends on the force applied and the displacement. Next, work done by a constant force. Work done by a constant force. Here we are considering a constant force F that is applied on a body so that the body displaces from A to B through a distance of S. Listen to it. Here we are going to find the work done by a constant force. So we are applying a constant force F on a body so that it gets displaced from A to B through a distance of S. Then how we can measure work? Actually, the work done can be measured as the product of force and displacement. Okay, work done can be measured as the product of what? Force and displacement. Work done equal to what? Force into displacement. Okay, that is when a constant force F acts on a body and it undergoes a displacement S in the direction of force, then the work done can be measured as the product of force and displacement. How we can measure work done? Work done can be measured as the product of force and displacement. That is W is equal to F into S. Okay, this is very important relation. The work done W is equal to F into S. Okay, what is the relation for work done? W is equal to Fs. Okay, where F is the force and S is the displacement. You got it? Okay, work done equal to, that is W equal to F into S. Here work done is a scalar quantity. Work is a scalar quantity. Listen to it. Work is a scalar quantity, or work done is a scalar quantity. Why it is called a scalar quantity work done? You know? Okay, because it has only magnitude and no direction. Okay, the work has only magnitude and no direction, so it is considered as a scalar quantity. Work done is a scalar quantity. Okay, and here you know the unit of work done, but you know the unit of force. What is the unit of force? Okay, Newton. Okay, then what is the unit of displacement? Actually, it is Newton meter. So Newton meter is the unit of work. Okay, Newton meter is the unit of work, and we call this as joule. Okay, either we can use Newton meter or we can use joule as the unit of work. Listen to it. Actually, these are the SI units of work. Either we can use Newton meter, and which is actually called the joule. So joule is the SI unit of work. Okay, joule is the SI unit of what? Work. Okay, and here using this equation W is equal to F into S, we can define 1 joule. We can define what? 1 joule. Okay, we can define 1 joule. So 1 joule can be written as 1 Newton into 1 meter. Listen to it. 1 joule is equal to 1 Newton into 1 meter. Okay, that is, if a force of 1 Newton that displaces the body through 1 meter, we can say the work is 1 joule. Listen to it. When this actually the work is said to be 1 joule, when we apply force of 1 Newton, then the body displaces through a distance of 1 meter, we can say the work done is 1 joule. Isn't it? We have the relation W equal to Fs. From this 1 joule can be written as 1 Newton into 1 meter. That is, by the application of 1 Newton force, the body displaces through a distance of 1 meter, then we can say the work is 1 joule. Listen it. Define 1 joule. Suppose if the application of 1 Newton force, if 1 Newton force that displaces the body through 1 meter, then we can say the work is 1 joule. Okay, that is about actually work done by a constant force. That is, when we apply a force F on a body, it displaces through a distance of S. Then how we can measure force? Measure work done. Work done can be measured as the product of force and displacement. That is, work done equal to force into displacement. So W is equal to F into S. Here work done is a scalar quantity. Then what is the SI unit of work done? Actually, it is joule. Then how we can define 1 joule? If 1 Newton force that displaces the body through 1 meter, then the work is actually 1 joule. Okay. Okay, children, today's class we have learned about work done. Okay, how we can say work is said to be done. Work is said to be done when we apply force on an object and the object moves in the direction of force. Listen to it. Then what are the factors on which work done depends? Force and displacement. Okay, then how we can measure force actually? Measure work done. Work done can be measured as the product of force and displacement. So we can say work done equal to force into displacement. Okay. Also we can write W equal to F into S. Okay. Then work done is a scalar quantity. Work done is a scalar quantity. Then what is the SI unit of work? Either we can say joule or Newton meter. Then how we can define 1 joule? 1 joule is equal to 1 Newton into 1 meter. That is, when we apply a force of 1 Newton, the body displaces through a distance of 1 meter, then we can say the work done is 1 joule. Okay. Okay, children, that is the end of today's class. Thank you.